A group of weapons I don't see getting much attention in the TF2 community is heavy melees, which I don't really get. In my opinion, heavy is some of the most varied, unique, versatile and funny melees in the game. Each provided a new tool that heavy can use to vary his gameplay, and today I've decided to rank them, so I can finally give these underrated parts of heavy's kit the love and appreciation they deserve. So without further ado, here's the list. Starting off with the widely agreed on worst of the bunch, we have the Warrior's Spirit. Now don't get me wrong, these bear claws are very fun to use on their own, providing a huge damage boost on health pack on kill in exchange for a good deal more vulnerability, making these weapons the epitome of high risk, high reward, which I find to be a very fun playstyle. And these melees pair perfectly with a stake, which amplifies its high risk, high reward elements. However, in serious gameplay, having these guys in your back pockets makes you a more vulnerable target, which isn't a good trade-off for the upsides, as serious heavies rarely pull out the melees to begin with, making this the worst heavy melee. Next up is everyone's favourite meme gloves, the Holiday Punch. This weapon's one of the most unique and fun in the game, making people laugh on crits rather than dealing increased damage. Now this can be extremely useful. Running into a heavy medic combo about to charge and leaving them there to laugh whilst Ruby depletes is one of the most satisfying feelings you can get in the game. However, this is a very situational play, as there's always a likely chance the heavy will just shred you before you even get close, making these gloves okay at best. For number 5, we actually have one of my favourite weapons in the game in terms of comedy factor, and that's the stock fists. I don't know why I find this weapon so funny. Maybe it's the fact Heavy's fists count as weapons, or maybe it's the fact that Heavy's inspection animation makes it seem like he's never seen his fist before, but something about these just makes me lose my crap. Anyway, there isn't much to say about this otherwise. They're just your dead basic stock melee with no upsides or downsides. On to the next weapon. Halfway in the list is the gloves of running urgently, or the GRU as men of culture call it. These gloves used to be my favourite in the game, until the nerf in Jungle Inferno made them bad in my eyes and a lot of other heavies. These gloves take away one of Heavy's largest strengths, his large health pool, by constantly draining it whenever they're equipped, and in exchange cover up his biggest weakness, his lack of mobility, bringing up his speed to around that of a pyro. Now I'm pretty neutral about these gloves. I don't like them but I also don't dislike them, and I don't like using average weapons all that much, so these end up being the least used gloves of the bunch. But at the end of the day, they are still a good weapon. On to the next one. Coming in at third is the Eviction notice. These brass knuckles are basically just a less risky, less rewarding version of the GRU, draining less health in exchange for a smaller speed boost. The less penalising stats of these limit use them quite often, as they can be used quite often for short bursts of speed without getting in the way too much. This weapon's just a nice utility to have in your back pocket when the time comes, making them a good weapon in my book. Also they give Heavy a faster punching speed, making them funny JoJo reference. Just behind first place is the Fist of Steel. These gauntlets amplify Heavy's strengths and weaknesses, giving him more tankiness against bullets in exchange for a slower weapon switch speed, furthering Heavy's general sluggishness. Also they make Heavy twice as vulnerable to melee attacks, however this barely matters in serious gameplay, as it's very rare people can get into melee range of a good Heavy. This weapon's a great utility that comes in handy all the time in regular everyday Heavy gameplay, and are always a good choice to have on you. For first place is my favourite melee, the KGB. These gloves are basically a direct upgrade to the fists, giving Heavy 5 seconds of guaranteed crits on any melee kill in exchange for a slower punching speed than the fists, which, similar to the Uber Saw, barely ever comes into effect. I'm biased towards these, as they pair perfectly with the Tomislav, my favourite heavy minigun, where the faster spin up time allows you to really capitalise on those crits. Overall, you just can't go wrong with a KGB, and they're useful in pretty much any situation Heavy can find themselves in. So there we have it, my ranking for the Heavy's vast selection of melees. I like all of these weapons, however there's certainly some that are better than others, and I hope this list encourages you to experiment with Heavy's range of melees to vary your gameplay style. I'm Griff, this has been my ranking of the Heavy's melees, and thanks for giving me a chance.